My name is Marcus. I'm 32, and I work as a software developer. Until about 6 months ago, I thought I was pretty good at judging people's character. Turns out I was dead wrong. I met Vanessa at a charity event in January last year. She was stunning, tall, poised, a real estate agent with a leased BMW, or so she said. She made the first move, which felt flattering at the time, but looking back, that was the first warning sign I overlooked. Within 3 weeks, we were exclusive. By 2 months, she had a drawer at my place. By month 4, most of her belongings were in my home, and she started calling it ours. I own my house outright, bought it 5 years ago during a market slump and paid it off quickly because I despise debt. It's a modest 3-bedroom in a decent area, nothing extravagant, but it's mine. Vanessa adored that house. She loved bragging about it to her friends and posting polished photos of our home on Instagram with captions about our shared future. I found it endearing. I thought she was genuinely invested in us. The relationship moved fast, but it felt natural. She was warm, attentive, always talking about our life together, marriage, kids, the works. I was cautious, having been hurt before, but she seemed different. She seemed genuine. Then November hit. We'd been together 11 months, not quite a year. She started pulling away, starting arguments over trivial things. I'd get home from work, and she'd be upset I hadn't texted her enough. I'd suggest ordering food, and she'd say I didn't care about her preferences. It was classic, but it escalated fast. On November 19th, I came home early with a migraine. Around 3 p.m., I found Vanessa on my couch, laughing at something on her phone. She didn't even startle when she saw me. "We need to talk," she said, her tone serious. I sat down, confused. "What's wrong?" She took a deep breath like she'd rehearsed this. "Marcus, I don't think we're working out. I need space to focus on myself." I was floored. "Where's this coming from? Is this about missing your work event last week? I'm sorry about that." She cut me off. "It's not that, it's us. We want different things. I need to move out." I nodded, trying to process. "Okay, I'm not happy, but if that's what you need," she continued, "I'll need time to find a place, maybe a month or 2, and I'll need help with a deposit and first month's rent, about $15,000. I blinked. $15,000. "I gave up my apartment to live with you, Marcus. I've been contributing here." My voice went flat. "You buy groceries sometimes. That's not rent or a mortgage." Her face hardened. "I've invested almost a year of my life in this relationship, in this home. I deserve something for that." That's when I knew something was seriously off. "Vanessa, you don't get paid for dating someone." She gave a cold smile. "We'll see." 3 days later, she moved out, taking her stuff, and a few things that weren't hers, like my kitchen knives from a housewarming gift, a handmade blanket from my sister, and oddly a framed photo of my dog, Cooper. I let it slide. I just wanted her gone. I thought it was over. Update 1 on December 3rd, I was served papers. Vanessa was suing me for palimony, a legal concept that's nearly extinct in most states. She claimed we had a domestic partnership, and that she was entitled to financial support and half the assets we shared. She demanded 50% of my home's equity, my 2021 Audi I'd saved years for, and even Cooper, my 3-year-old golden retriever I'd adopted long before meeting her. I sat in my kitchen, reading the 37-page lawsuit, wondering if I was losing my mind. Her claims were wild. She'd sacrificed career opportunities for our relationship. I'd promised to support her financially, and we discussed marriage extensively, which she relied on to her detriment. All lies, total fabrications. I called my brother David, a paralegal. He said, "Get a lawyer now and don't talk to her." I hired Patricia Chun, a sharp, mid-50s attorney known for dismantling cases like this. At our first meeting on December 8th, she skimmed the lawsuit and said, "This is audacious and foolish. How long were you together?" 11 months. "She lived with you?" "About 7 months unofficially." "No rent, no lease, no mortgage." Patricia jotted notes. "Did you promise her anything? Marriage? Money?" "We talked about the future vaguely, but nothing solid, never promised financial support." "Good. Any texts, emails, messages?" "Plenty. Send me everything." For 2 days, I scoured my phone. Reading old messages was nauseating, early texts full of "I love you" photos of us together. But there were clues. Her asking to borrow money, me refusing, her getting upset, hinting I should add her name to the house deed if I really loved her. I sent it all to Patricia. On December 15th, we met again. "She's in trouble," Patricia said. "Her case has no legal ground. Palimony requires clear proof of a contract, written or verbal, for financial support. Dating doesn't create that. She's either delusional or hoping you'll settle to avoid the hassle. Litigation's costly." She's betting you'll pay $20,000 $30,000 to make it go away. I'm not paying a cent, Patricia grinned. Good, I'm going to crush this. Update 2, the preliminary hearing was January 14th. I took the day off, wore a suit, arrived early. Vanessa showed up late with her lawyer, a nervous young guy who kept dropping papers. The courtroom was small, just Judge Morrison, a stern, 60-something black man with reading glasses, and us. Vanessa's lawyer went first, arguing she'd given up her independence for me, that I'd promised her security, and that we had a common-law partnership. Judge Morrison listened, then turned to Patricia. Miss Chun, Your Honor, this lawsuit is baseless. The plaintiff dated my client for 11 months, lived in his home rent-free for 7 with no agreement. There's no evidence of a contract. This is a shakedown. The judge glanced at the papers. You filed a motion to dismiss? Yes, Your Honor, and we're seeking sanctions under Rule 11 for a frivolous claim. Vanessa's lawyer stammered, Your Honor, this isn't frivolous. Sit down, Morrison said. I'll review the motion. We'll reconvene in 2 weeks. Leaving the courtroom, Vanessa approached me. Marcus, we don't have to do this. Don't talk to me, I said, brushing past. Patricia pulled me aside. She's nervous. Good, the next 2 weeks were torture. I couldn't focus or sleep. The thought of this woman I trusted trying to ruin me was unbearable. Then, on January 23rd, Patricia called. Marcus, come to my office. Now, I rushed over, heart racing. She was smiling. What's up? She handed me a document, Vanessa's financial disclosure required for palimony cases. It listed her income last year, $237,000. I stared. She told me she made $60,000, that she was struggling. She lied, Patricia said. She's a successful realtor, owns a paid-off condo in Riverside, and never gave up her apartment. She's been renting it on Airbnb while living with you. My hands shook. She lied about everything. There's more, Patricia said. I subpoenaed her phone records. She's been seeing someone named Trevor since September. They texted about taking you for all you're worth. I felt sick. Can we use this? Oh, we're using it. And one more thing. She handed me a lease agreement, dated January 15th last year, 2 weeks after I met Vanessa. She signed a 2-year lease on a luxury downtown apartment right after meeting you. She never planned to stay. She was always looking for a payout. Update 3, the next hearing was February 4th. I wasn't nervous anymore, I was livid. We arrived with 3 boxes of evidence. Financial records, texts, witness statements from friends who'd seen Vanessa's behavior. Patricia had a 50-page response ready. Judge Morrison entered and we stood. Miss Chun, I've reviewed your motion. Does the plaintiff have anything to add? Vanessa's lawyer, looking ill, asked for a continuance. Denied, Morrison said. Miss Chun, proceed. Patricia didn't hold back. Your Honor, the plaintiff has misled this court. She lied about her finances, her residence, and her relationship with my client. She's filed false claims under oath. We have proof she maintained her own home, misrepresented her income, and was involved with another man during the last 3 months of her time with my client. She handed a folder to the bailiff, who passed it to the judge. We request dismissal with prejudice, sanctions against the plaintiff and her counsel, and $43,000 in attorney's fees. Morrison read the folder for what felt like ages, probably 3 minutes. He looked up, face stern. Miss Hartley, stand. Vanessa stood, looking small and frightened. Did you sign a lease for an apartment on January 15th last year? Yes, Your Honor, she whispered. Did you rent it out on Airbnb while living with the defendant? Yes. Did you report $237,000 in income last year while claiming financial hardship? Your Honor, I can explain. Yes or no? Yes. Morrison removed his glasses. Miss Hartley, you've wasted this court's time, the defendant's time, and your attorney's time with a baseless lawsuit built on lies. I'm dismissing this case with prejudice. You're barred from refiling. I'm sanctioning you $5,000 for a frivolous claim and awarding the defendant $43,000 in fees, due within 30 days. Vanessa started crying. Her lawyer tried to speak, but Morrison cut him off. I'm not done. Mr. Garrett, you failed to verify your client's claims. You're sanctioned $2,500. Both of you will be reported to the state bar. He banged his gavel. We're done. Update 4, leaving the courtroom felt unreal. Vanessa approached me in the hall, tears streaking her face. Marcus, I'm sorry. I stopped. You tried to take my house, my car, my dog because you thought I was an easy mark. I made a mistake. No, you made a choice. Live with it. I walked away. Patricia high-fived me in the parking lot. In the weeks that followed, Vanessa's real estate license was suspended pending an ethics review. Lying in court doesn't look good professionally. Trevor, Her boyfriend left her when he learned about the lawsuit and her $50,000 debt. She tried contacting me, calls, texts, even showing up at my house once. I got a restraining order. Haven't heard from her since March. I'm doing all right. Cooper's still my best bud, my house and car are mine, and I'll be $43,000 richer once Vanessa's payment plan clears. Patricia says it'll take her 3 years. I started dating again in April, cautiously. I'm far more careful about who I let into my life now. Final update, it's October now, nearly a year since Vanessa left and tried to ruin me. Word is she's working as a secretary, living in a studio, driving a used Honda. Her real estate career is toast. Her lawyer got a 6-month suspension from the state bar. I don't feel bad for her, but I don't feel triumphant either. I'm just thankful I could afford Patricia. Most people in my shoes might have settled to avoid the fight. That's what people like Vanessa bank on. They exploit the system, hoping you're too exhausted, broke, or scared to resist. I'm working through trust issues with a therapist. Some days are better than others. But I've got my home, my dog, my life, and one wild story about the woman who tried to take it all. Edit 1 for those asking. Yes, Cooper's microchipped under my name, done years before Vanessa. It was one of the documents Patricia brought to court, proving ownership from 3 years prior. Judge Morrison chuckled when Vanessa's lawyer claimed she'd bonded with him. Edit 2 people keep asking if I saw this coming. Honestly, no, that's the worst part. She seemed normal, even great. The red flags were subtle, comments about money, little tests to see how much she could push. I ignored them because I wanted it to work. That's my fault. Edit 3, I've gotten messages asking for dating advice. I'm no expert, obviously, but here's what I've learned. Don't let someone move in until you've been together at least a year. Don't mix finances until you're married. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. And keep a good lawyer's number handy. You never know.